Welcome, one and all. Today is February 23rd, 2017, and this is Mastermind call number 114. Thank you so much for everybody taking your time to be here today. We hope to hear some good success stories, some share what's working, any issues you're having. Matt Smith, if you're on the line, I know you were going to be here. Hit *6 and hit 1. I'd love to do a little interview with you. Anybody else who has anything they want to share, please *6 and hit 1, and we'll take you one at a time. Nobody yet. It usually takes about 5 minutes to get somebody to volunteer. So I'll go around with my partners. Tim, anything you want to share with the group?
Yeah, I just think it's probably good to give everybody a bit of an update. We've had a tremendous month. We've expanded our reach a good bit. We're dealing with some counties that are new and exciting for us, and we're experiencing great growth. And thanks to all of you who are on here, maybe for the first time, that you're joining us on this call. I think also it would be appropriate to point out that right now we're focused specifically on probate, and we are doing a lot of things to develop that market niche, but we've got a couple of other exciting things that are coming within this quarter yet, and we're working pretty hard on them, and there are a couple of new lead sources going to be announced very soon once we finish them up. We did get the first run back from our collection end, and we're proofing out the automation aspects of it so that we do the quality control pieces and make sure that we get accurate data, and we continue to try and work on all of those sorts of things and improve them as we go. So we're not just sitting on our laurels and being happy being a one-trick pony. We're growing our business, and we're going to help you grow yours with even more stuff than you have today. So you're at the right place at the right time.
Excellent. Yeah, I remember when I had this idea 3.5 years ago, we had identified what we thought were the top few hundred markets in the country. And yesterday I went from assigning a gentleman up for Otter Bay, Montana, to Lewis and Clark, Oklahoma, or somewhere else. So this has really expanded to areas that there's really nowhere where this doesn't work. Joe Sheeran, if you're on the call, I'd love to have you. One of our oldest subscribers, been with us almost 3 years now, 2.5 years, only gets about 20 leads a month, and he just added another county. He shared with us, he is consistently doing business with 20 leads a month, so you don't have to have, it's nice if you're in a county that gets hundreds, but you don't have to have a ton of leads when you're dealing with motivated sellers and you've got virtually no competition. That's the good news. Still no one in the queue. Hit *6 and hit 1. Anybody who would like to share with the group or have us help you with any aspect of this business, please *6 and hit 1. Chad, welcome back. Anything you want to share from a training perspective?
Yeah, I've had a few people sign up early for March Probate Mastery, so I went ahead and put dates to that. I do have another trip coming up, so the next Mastery class will start March 20th, and the session will be the 20th, 22nd, and 24th. For anyone, I know we've got a lot of new folks in the last week or so. If you're interested in doing Probate Mastery, what I'm doing in the interim while I'm traveling is, if you want to sign up for the live March class, I'll actually send you the recordings from the January class, which was one of the best that I think we've had. So you can go through the recorded class and then join us for the live class in a few weeks. So we've had a few people do that already. If you are interested in Mastery and learning more about what Mastery is and why it exists, I did add a video if you go to alltheleads.com and look under the system, education, and training. Or if you're a subscriber, you can just look on the left on subscriber portal and click on Probate Mastery. And it there's a course outline, and it'll explain what we cover in there. So for anybody who's interested, you can register for March, and then I'll send you the January recordings right now.
And Chad, I get asked a lot by brand new people or prospective clients, should I wait till I take Mastery to start getting the leads? And obviously I say no, absolutely not. Essentially, to get started, you're essentially just communicating with what is often an absentee motivated owner. You don't have to know a lot other than just be of a service mindset and have multiple services you can offer these people, that really helps. The probate attorney handles all the legal aspects of the transaction. Now, having said that, we do have a lot of high analytical agents, and we have a lot of agents that would like to prospect the attorneys. And in my opinion, if you're going to be calling on the attorneys, Probate Mastery is a must. If you're really going to make this a significant niche in your business, you should take Probate Mastery. And I think it's usually a good idea. Get started for a month or so, and then, because you don't know what you don't know initially, and then get in the Probate Mastery class. You're going to learn a tremendous amount. We looked at our statistics, and agents that take that class are about 4 times more likely to still be with us a year later than the agents that don't. So there is tremendous value in it, and we do it every month. And once you've taken it, it keeps getting better and better. You're welcome to take it in subsequent months. And see, we talked long enough. We have 4 people in the queue. Thank you. Just real quick, I want to get my last partner, Tom. Anything from a customer service perspective that you want to share?
Nothing specific today, Jim, but just to remind everybody, if they have any questions, issues, please just send us an email to support@alltheleads.com. We track those, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible.
Excellent. And I'm not going to have to beg again. We have 5 people in the queue, so let's hit the first one. Phone number ending in 7000. You're up.
Hi, this is Richard Stewart from Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Hey, Richard, welcome.
Hi, I signed up a month ago, and we've had a few bugs on the boarding process. It turned out my email address was wrong in your site. But after I got my first list, it appeared that the data was keyed in wrong as far as the addresses. And I know support's working on it, but how long do you think it'll take to get that resolved?
Tom, are you familiar with his situation? Are we working on it, or Tim? Anybody know?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it, and we have asked the data collector to get back to us and verify, the addresses. It appears that several of them are correct from their initial research, but hopefully we'll have something back on that today.
Okay, well, basically all 43 have the identical address for both the personal rep and the deceased address, so just statistically it can't be that way.
Either somebody died that owned a heck of a lot of real estate, or there was an issue there. Now, Richard, please, all of you, I can't say that never happens. When it does, though, let us know right away, and we're usually able to resolve it pretty quickly. But Tom, I'm sure will check on it. And go ahead, Tom.
Yeah.
You want to say something else?
Richard, I'll give you a call later on today. I've actually spoke to a couple different of our collectors, and you were also interested in some additional data. And I'll get back with you, later today after this call.
Yeah, on our particular probate system, most of it is online. Everything is online except the case number, so that's where you have to go down to the actual office to get this. But once you get on their online system, and they're at the office too, the case has the inventory right on it, including the addresses of the real estate. And that's how, before I joined, that was how I had such a high conversion rate on these, doing probate prior to all the leads, was, and I'm sure all counties aren't the same, but ours, the address of the real estate is right there, with all the data that they keyed in. So I'm hoping that in my case, they can at least include that as part of the data they're putting in, because otherwise I still have to go back and manually reference the thing anyway.
Yeah, we'll make sure we do that. And it's interesting because when I had this idea a few years ago, I thought by now more of the courthouses would be online, and actually the reality is fewer and fewer of them are. And even and as you found, Richard, even when the data is available online, it's almost easier just go down the courthouse and get it, than it is to try to. You don't get enough data. You don't get enough to really, effectively use, online. So we will get that taken care of today, please. Tom when the call's over, Tom will get back to you. Tim's checking on it also. You still there, Richard? Okay, I guess we lost him, but all right, thank you. Phone number ending in 9021, you're up.
Hello, this is Sylvia from California.
Hey, Sylvia.
And
Hi.
Hi, and I am new, and I just got my first set of leads, and my letters go out tomorrow. So my question,
Awesome.
I have two questions, and they refer to the letter. But before that, I just wanted to give a shout out to Chad. I just finished the Probate Mastery training for February, and it was awesome. I found it very, very helpful. So
Good.
just wanted to say that. My question is, in one of the letters, the first probate letter number 1, somewhere in my notes, I wrote down, I don't know where I got this, that I could just continually send that letter out for all 3 mailings. Is anyone doing that? And is that working for anybody, or did I make a mistake in making that note?
So I've split tested lots of different letters. I started out with Jim and I both started with the sequence of probate letter 1, probate letter 2, probate letter 3. We later wrote the probate options letter, and people started sending that all just the same letter 3 times. And I've been able to duplicate the results. So I got, a 6% response regardless of the letter I was sending. So for me, it's more about repetition and being there at the right time. And that's why we suggest at least 3 direct mail touches over 90 days. We know that 80% of sales happen after the 5th touch. So if you're, it's more about the frequency. And a lot of people get lost in the copy. And so don't stress too much. If you feel good about your first letter, I think you're probably going to find that it will produce as much as letter 1 as it will as letter 3. It's just when these folks are ready, having something there.
Okay, thank you. And then what about some? Also, I think you mentioned including the docket number in the letter. Do you do that, and where do you put it if you do?
That comes up in attorney conversation. So if you are going to send direct mail to attorneys, you're more likely to get that envelope on the actual attorney's desk, not in the gatekeeper's trash cans. If you include the docket number, and then if you merge the docket number and the deceased first and last name, so you can say, this letter is regarding docket number 34579, estate of Jane Doe, and then that makes it a little more official and more likely to actually reach the attorney. But what we find with attorneys is face-to-face interaction is how most people have actually gotten those relationships and built the referral networks.
Okay, I mixed that up. So that's for the attorneys. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Last question.
Real quick question: are you doing the mail yourself, or are we doing it for you?
You guys are doing it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and the only thing I was going to add, kind of the question I was going to ask as well, and if we're doing it for you, some of these questions, if you need some help with that, just let us know. And if you want to vary the letters, or you want to mark your campaign so that literally it cycles each month, so that you're doing a different letter or you're doing a variation of the letter, we'll be happy to work with you. You can change that content any way that you want, and personalize the envelopes with or without the docket, and they can go. If it's going to the attorney, we try to make it look as business-like as possible. So frequently we do add that docket number on there, which, as Chad said, gets you great attention. And we address that with not a handwritten font, but a regular business font, so that it very much is an attorney letter, and it's going to get opened.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I thought I'd do some testing and then kind of tweak it after I figure out what's working, and just give it some time.
Yep, absolutely. And keep us posted. And if you've got questions, certainly talk to our team, and we'll be happy to. Mailbox Motivator team, always willing and anxious to work with our customers to help make it better. So anything you want to come up with, we'll help you do.
Oh, thank you. So my last question is in regards to my first letter that's going out tomorrow, and that's the probate letter number 1, and there's some verbiage in it that talks about having a system for selling homes quicker, 18% more than the average realtor, and since that is in the letter, I did not take it out. I'm just wondering if you can share how you present that to your.
Well, that is for your content, and if you are uncomfortable with that, or you feel that you want to state it differently, you can certainly change that. The letters are there as an example for you to use, and if you don't have a system that does that, and you can't back up that statement, you probably should change that verbiage a little bit.
Yeah, that was Chad's example. I think Chad just kind of offered that as an example of what worked for him, that extra paragraph. You definitely
and
want
it's
to
important,
customize that.
and I'm really glad you're asking these questions because it's something that we get frequently. Those letters are there and the content is there, and we vary the content in a lot of them to give you a lot of different things that you can say, all of which have been proven to be successful, but they're things that we have created, and our customers, we encourage you to look at them closely. If you have your own testimonial that you want to put in the testimonial box, or you don't have one yet, you're not ready to do that, don't feel compelled to use the content that's there, but also don't feel like you have to be a Shakespearean editor to be able to get this done. We'll be happy to work with you. You can just kind of give us an idea about what you want to do, and we'll be happy to fix it for you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And Sylvia, so before you order your mail, check out Probate Options and Probate Simple. Those are two more generic letters that don't have, a specific kind of brand promise. And like Jim said, those were letters that are really specific to my business, but they're letters that yielded lots and lots of listings, so we leave them out there as examples. So if anyone listening is looking for a more generic mail piece that doesn't have, my brand promise or, not so personalized to me, check out the Probate Options letter or the Probate Simple letter. Those are really good letters that bullet point the options you can provide and have been successful in really any type of market across the country.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. That's very helpful.
Great questions. Wow, we got a huge number of people that are in the queue. Well, when I say huge, there's 6 in there, so that's good. This is going to keep us occupied. The next person up is phone number ending in 8228. You're up next.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're up,
Hey,
Mike.
how's it going? This is Chris. I'm calling out of Port Charlotte, Florida.
Yes, sir.
I am new to the probate. I'm just getting started. I just sent out letters last week. They were letters of my own. I didn't use your guys' letters. But I am just coming into this, so I don't really have any stories yet because I haven't started making phone calls yet. So I guess basically my question is, what advice would you give someone who is new and is just jumping into this to approach it correctly?
The first thing you can do is finish the probate fast track. Have you logged in and gone through all the fast track training?
Yes, I'm also still doing that as well. Like I'm doing that on the side.
Okay. The other really good thing to get folks started out, what we find is that one of the biggest stumbling points is people getting on the phones initially. And we do a monthly role play call the first Wednesday of every month. If you look in subscriber resources on the left, you can click on conference calls, and then in the top center, conference call archive. There you can find, organized by month in a calendar format, you can listen to the role play calls and these mastermind calls. Role play calls 11, 12, and 13, if I remember correctly, were all really heavily focused on starting the initial conversation. So it's kind of as supplementary training, to really get clear on how you're going to start these conversations. That would be a good use of your time. But definitely,
are those previous recordings?
Yes, they are. So that would have been like November, December, January calls.
Okay, because I do listen to your guys' YouTube videos as well. Would they still be on there, or is that just on the website?
No, the audio is just on the website. So it's under conference calls, conference call archive, and then you sort by month.
And I was just going to add, if he sent the letters out, it's important to get on the phone, as soon as possible. Another thing you could do is just download that probate questionnaire sheet, and it's really, once you've sent the letter out, it's just a matter of asking them good questions to, did you get my letter? Did you understand, what it is I have to offer? Are there other decision makers involved? When do you think you'll be ready to sell the property? It's really finding out what their needs are and, how you can help them. It's not a heavily laden sales pitch, the initial conversation. The letter should represent you, and then the follow-up should be more about them.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I have experience in cold calling, but I just don't want to approach this as being too like a salesman. I don't want to
Right.
come off as like being too pressured or anything like that.
Mhm.
Because I mean, this is something different. I mean, these are people who just recently lost loved ones, so I
Sure.
don't want to go at it the wrong way.
Right. And just to keep in mind now, on average, it's 3 to 4 months from the date of death until the probate gets filed. So by the time they file the probate, they're usually enough past the grieving that they've made the business decision that they need to deal with this and move on. So, it's not that you don't have to be sensitive, but you're reaching out to someone who's often not local. They're probably one of several siblings that are splitting the proceeds. The overwhelming response that we hear from our subscribers is that people are very grateful to have somebody local that reach out that can help them, especially if you've got a team of people. So, just get on the phone, start making the calls. I think you'd be surprised with that checklist in front of you. And I think you'd be surprised how easy it is. I mean, you're not. Are you going to get 1 in 100 that's going to blast you? Yeah, but you get that with any type of prospecting.
Mhm.
But I would say, get that questionnaire in front of you and listen to those 3 30-minute calls, and you should be good to go.
Okay, perfect. And
All right.
also, is say if this if they are local, what do you think? What's your opinion on like doing actual like door knocking, like personal visits?
It has worked really well for the small handful of folks that have done it. They would, take a copy of their letter with them in case they weren't home, and you can throw that in the mailbox or post, tape it to the door. We've had folks even in really high-end neighborhoods. The few people that I know that have done it have actually had really good success with it. Now,
Okay.
it's going to be market dependent. I mean, if it's really going to depend on what kind of market you're in. I think in some markets most of the homes are vacant, and in others, they're not. But definitely try it. I mean, we've had some folks that have gotten multi-million-dollar listings off of door knocking because and a lot of people are hesitant. If you watch the tips from the trainer videos, it sounds like people are hesitant to reach out to surviving spouses. If you can imagine, the husband and wife who had a 5 or 6 bedroom home, and when one passes away, the other they actually need to downsize, and a face-to-face visit could be the best way to help those folks.
Mhm.
So I say
Just one other thing. One other thing I'd add is that, like everything else, it depends on your market, the time of the year, the letters, the day, the weather. I mean, there are so many variable factors in this, and we have had people who have achieved success by absolutely doing nothing but sending out letters, and their phone rings and they go take listings, and that definitely has happened. We've had people who send out the letters and follow up with phone calls, and that's certainly what we recommend. And sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 months for things to start rolling. We've also had people who get phone calls back from a letter that they sent out 6 months, a year ago. Somebody finally got ready to do something with the property, and knocking on doors, any traditional marketing that you're going to do is going to work. Our kind of the sweet spot for this has always been send out the letters, send out a series of 3 letters, make sure you follow up with phone calls. That's going to give you your best shot for success, but anything else that you're going to do is certainly going to increase your odds, and that's what this is all about. And it sounds like you're an aggressive guy anyway, so anything like that's likely to work. But the basic theory is send out the letters, follow it up, and make those phone calls following up on did you get my letter kind of calls, so it's a soft entry, so they already know that you've tried to contact them before, and that's kind of the whole purpose of the letters.
Mhm.
But just get on the phone, man. I mean, you've sent them out, and I can just tell that you're ready to rock and roll. Just go, go jump on the phone and make a few calls, break a few eggs. You'll do well.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I'll definitely stay in touch with you guys and let you know my future stories.
Please do. Thank
Perfect.
you. Great.
Yeah, appreciate
great.
the help, guys.
Oh, you're very welcome. We've got 4 more in the queue, so we're definitely going to go over 30 minutes today, guys. Thanks for everybody for hanging in there. The next person up is phone number ending in 7449. Can you hear us? You're up.
Hi, this is Rui calling with J. Rockcliffe in California.
Hi there.
Hi, I was calling because I'm also new to probate, and not new to cold calling though, and similar to the previous caller, I am a little hesitant to call prior to my letters hitting, and I've just recently established my team, but I'm still looking for all cash buyers. So I wanted to get suggestions on that. And then also I've sent in a Facebook request, and I wanted to see when that would get approved.
Certainly.
Sure.
The all cash buyers, we get that almost every week. And Chad and I both have a solution. Go to nationalreia.com, nationalreia.com. Click on a calendar and call the president of your local Real Estate Investors Association. Yeah, I guarantee you he'll probably say, yeah, me, when you say, do you have a good cash buyer? And then, Chad, you have a couple suggestions, too. I think going down to the courthouse sales, you've heard.
Well, in the interest of time, if you can go to alltheleads.com and click on blog in the top right, there's about a 12-minute video blog that I did a few weeks ago that gives you all the ideas for finding cash buyers. So just when you get a chance, watch that or read that, and that'll give you a lot of good ideas to go do that. As far as Facebook, I thought before the call started I had everybody in, but I will check as soon as we get off the line and make sure that if you send in a request, you're in.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Phone number ending in 3173. You're up next. Corey, you there?
Yes. This is Corey Lancaster with Extra Right Realty in the D.C. metropolitan area.
Yes, sir.
Two questions. One, the mailbox motivator, is there any way to adjust the dates after you have created that?
What do you mean?
The automated,
we can adjust
the automated three letters. So
sure,
I set that
you
up.
can. You have the ability to determine the exact time that you want it to go out. If you want it to go on a specific day, it'll go on the day that you request, and you can certainly adjust that.
How do you do that? Because I'm trying to find the edit button. Because I've already set it, but it looks like the dates are not.
You already placed the order, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Then do it a little bit differently. If you've already placed the order, it goes into the system. That's automated. You don't really have the ability to edit it once the order's in, because that starts the wheels in motion and gets printing going and all that. But depending on when you put it in and all that, we can probably take care of it for you. If you will just fill out a quick support ticket to support@alltheleads.com and say what you'd like us to do. If it's at all possible to do it, we'll get it done immediately.
Okay.
And somebody will get back with you and talk to you about it.
Okay. And then the second question is, and I just signed up, is finding estate sale folks to I guess add part of the team to offer that service. How do you go about? What's the best way to go about finding those type of services?
The best resource
I did do a Google search, but I'm just having a hard time, I guess, finding companies.
So there's a website, Corey. It's called estatesales.net, and that's plural. So estatesales.net, and I would imagine there's probably hundreds in your area. But you can drill down all the way down to like the zip code level, and that's essentially a directory of estate sale companies, and they have a rating system from platinum to bronze, I believe, and I think those are the companies that actually pay to be there for marketing purposes. So it's pretty good filter for credible estate sale companies, and I would just kind of start there and read their profile and figure out which ones would best fit your model. If you're lucky enough, and major metro areas, some folks are, your estate sale company will oftentimes have the donation distribution channel set up. So once everything sells, they can donate anything of value that didn't sell, and then some even go as far as to trash out the house. So you get everything under one roof. That's your ideal situation.
And Corey, I wanted to add, we talked about this briefly last week. I think one element that a lot of agents forget, if it's an absentee owner, this is the biggest stress point for these people, is what do I do with all the stuff in the house? A significant percentage of the time, the homeowner is calling the estate sale company before they call the realtor. So make sure if you bring somebody on, say, hey, I'm going to recommend business to you, make sure it's a reciprocal relationship. Make sure they understand if somebody reaches out to them to handle an estate sale that you'd like to be the realtor that they recommend.
I see. Okay.
Make sense?
Yep, makes sense. Thank you.
All right, awesome. 3 more people in the queue, guys. I love this. Phone number ending in 5163. You're up.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Justin from Dirty Jersey.
You need to be a little more enthusiastic, Justin.
Woohoo!
I'm just kidding. Yes, sir. Welcome.
Hey, man. Hey, I just got on it. I've been getting leads for about a month or two and not doing anything with them, as I'm sure a few other people have done in the past. But I've actually put it into play, and I'm getting my calls and getting leads, and I'm going on appointments, so it works.
Awesome. That's great to hear. So you just started picking up the phone.
Yes.
Okay.
And I've been getting some interesting calls. This one I couldn't answer. Maybe you guys can help me out what to do with this.
Sure.
I'm getting calls from people who go, hey, I'm really interested in knowing what this person owned. So I'll tell them the property address for the deceased, and then the executor or executrix will say, okay, I don't know where that is. Then I'll go and check the tax record, and that person has no association with that tax record. So what happens there?
Yeah, what you're probably getting there, my partners may have some insight on that. We give you 3 or 4 phone numbers, and if it's a common name, if it's John Smith, the first phone number we give you is often their cell phone. By the time you get to the 4th phone number, it might just be somebody with a very similar name, with the exact same name in the same area. So occasionally we'll get somebody with the same name as the executor. It might be your 4th phone number. So it's probably.
Yeah. No, I'm getting a call. I'm getting a call from the executor saying, "Hey,
you're not
I got your letter."
No. Okay.
No, I got your letter. I see Charles Whitmore. I'm the executor for Charles Whitmore, and it says here that he owned a property in X town. I'm not aware because I'm in another state. So what do I do? And I get excited,
gotcha.
and then I go on the tax record for Charles Whitmore at 123 Main Street in my town, and then he's not even on the tax record.
Yeah, I misunderstood, Justin. What you're getting
Sorry.
there, is this Justin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure I had the right person. What you're probably getting there is a small percentage of these people have to file probate for a reason other than owning real estate. So what you're probably getting there, the last known address of the deceased is what you're assuming is the property. That's not always the real estate that's owned.
Okay.
So it sounds like you're getting one of those people that just had to file some probate for another reason and didn't own any real estate. Now, with those people, we always recommend you ask another question. Okay, apparently that was his last known address, but apparently then he didn't own any real estate. But you are the executor of the estate, correct? Okay, great. Remember, you're talking to somebody that just inherited a couple $100,000. You might want to ask them, now that once the estate is settled, do you have any plans on, buying a nicer home or buying any investment property? We've had quite a few agents that have converted executors that didn't have any real estate because they used the found money to upgrade the home they live in. So just ask that extra question or two. Yeah, it could be a good buyer, even though there might not be any real estate in that estate. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it makes total sense. So so I guess another question they had asked me is, hey, I'm the executor. How do I find out if Charles Whitmore owned other property? And I say, I have no idea.
Chad, you want to handle that one?
Well, I mean, that's a big part of their responsibility. So the probate clerk is going to ask them to pull together a list of assets. Typically, that starts with going through the house and, looking for tax bills or, looking through whatever paperwork. Most families, that's kind of one of the first steps. And then when you go to the courthouse, the probate clerk should assist the family and say, okay, let's look at the tax rolls and see, if any real estate was there. Or if there was a will, if the person died testate, meaning they had a last will and testament, the will should list out the significant assets. Anything of real value like real estate should be named, usually in an appendix to the will. So that's
Okay.
the easiest way is if somebody dies testate, then you kind of have a list attached to the will. But if they die intestate, I would think the probate clerk would kind of be your first fail-safe there. He or she will help the family search within the county. Now, if they owned, investment real estate in Texas because they bought into a, investment group or something, that wouldn't cover that. But hopefully that would come up somewhere else in the paperwork. They would have a tax bill or something from that property where the insurance agent could help them. So you could, that might be a really good hook for you to provide value for that guy.
I just didn't know which way to.
Yeah, exactly. So calling back and say, hey, I was thinking about this on my way to the office this morning, and I had an idea. So are there any insurance bills laying around? Like, let's call the insurance agent. Let's call the financial advisor. Let's call the banker. And let's see if help him do some of that research if there's real estate involved. And just going that extra mile can be, all the difference in the world. But just, it's a good reason to touch base with him and share some of those ideas to help him do his research.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
Justin,
Yeah, that makes sense. I just didn't know. I didn't know where to go with it. I was like, yeah, I don't even know what to tell you. So I'm glad. I hope other people are listening to this, and when they get a possible call like this, they know how to handle it.
Justin, good questions, and I think the best lesson you gave everybody is pick up the phone. Way too many people have that call reluctance. Nobody's bit your head off yet, and once you started making the calls, you're actually starting to do some business. So congratulations on inspiring a lot of people to do the same thing.
Yeah, no one's come to my house and kicked my garbage can.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing. We have two more people in the queue. Phone number ending in 9810. You're up.
Hello?
Yeah, yes, sir. You're up. We can hear you.
Okay, right. You hear me? Okay. Here's my question. I just got started last week, and so I'm trying to figure out what the steps are. And I paid for you guys to do the mailing. And
okay.
So
have you watched the fast track videos?
Yes, I watched it. I'm 100% complete on the fast track video, and so I really want to know what the next step is.
Okay, so we just did the mail. Have you received? Did the mail just go out in the last few days?
Yeah, I look inside the dashboard under the probate leads. And I see where the latest one was sent on the 21st of this month, so it just came.
Okay.
So it just says 10 leads. So I got that. So now am I waiting for you guys to mail out something to these people or what?
If you've placed your order for mailings, then when those leads went to you, they went into the queue to go out, and you'll receive an email as soon as they do go, and you'll receive a copy of the letter yourself so that you'll know when your customers got them as well. And as soon as you get that in your mail, you'll know that the letters went out and you're ready to go. Start making phone calls.
Okay, so to summarize that, you guys are going to send postcards out to the leads, the probate leads, and I'll be included in that postcard mailing. So when I get the postcard, I go back into the dashboard and go to those telephone numbers and give a call, and then we'll do that, on a monthly basis?
If that's the way you set it up. If you place the order to recur, then yes. If you placed an order for a mailbox motivator, right?
Yes, because I see a mailbox motivator on the dashboard.
Okay, but does it show that you placed an order for it?
I can't tell because when I paid for it, I think I didn't have the dashboard.
You know what? Why don't just to send an email right away to support@alltheleads.com, and we'll have somebody call you right back and figure out what you've done or haven't done and what the next best step is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Also, one thing too, I noticed on some of the leads, I look in, they have the personal representative is in, say, one state. The deceased is also in the same state. In this case, it's Connecticut. But then the probate record is recorded where I'm at in California.
Right.
So does that mean so I don't have any house address that's in California yet?
Yeah, that may very well be that, the person got sick. As they got older, they went back home to live with a relative. But if there's real estate involved, the probate was filed in your county, call them. And that's actually a very good one because the absentee owners are usually the most motivated people. They need the most help. So
yeah, well, the deceased death was in January 2005, so 17 years, about 12 years.
yeah, Chad, you have a real quick. We have one more person in the queue, but you've explained this very concisely before. Why that happens.
A lot of times,
yeah.
when you see those extreme date ranges, a lot of times what it means is the family they kept the house and they kept the house, continued to pay the taxes and the deceased name, just didn't know what they didn't know, and then when they finally go to sell it, then they realize, the title company or somebody tells them that, hey, in order to sell this, you have to probate this estate because it was never probated and closed out. So, oftentimes it's, the sale of the real estate is actually what triggers the retroactive probate.
Okay, so that means it sounds like in this case here they probably have a real estate agent already.
Could
they
be.
may, but don't automatically assume that. But they may. Yeah.
There are millions of variables in this. The best way to get your questions answered is to pick up the phone and just focus on the people in the situation and learn what you can and provide value where you can.
Okay.
It's, staring at a spreadsheet guessing I haven't seen anybody make money doing that. Picking up the phone is how you make money.
Right. Okay. Okay then. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. No bad questions, and it when you're first getting started, sometimes you look at the data. It's good to understand and make sense of it. All right, our last person.
Just make really sure. Last caller. Just make sure you send that email to support@alltheleads.com so that we can get right back to you because you had several questions we need to make sure that you're squared away with. So send that email in to support@alltheleads.com and we'll get right on it.
All right. Well, we saved our best question or statement for last. No pressure. Phone number ending in 9021. You're the last up this week.
Okay, hi, it's Sylvia again. I just have one last question about the letters going out. Do you recommend that we put a logo, like a company logo on the letter, or test it, or not?
Most people do. They send it out. We do a good job on the outside to get it opened, and most people do, in fact, put their logo on there. They actually send it out and replicate their real estate letterhead. You can do it either way you want, but you're not hiding the fact that indeed you're a realtor, and so it's time to let them know that. So I would encourage you to do that. And generally, if you have your logo, you can easily upload it, send it to us, and we'll add it to your letters and make them look just like any other letter that you would send out using your letterhead.
Yes, I did that, and they're ready to go that way. I just wanted to double check.
You did it right. You did it right.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Well, we thank you for all the new people that participated. I want all of you to take a pledge. When you get successful with this, you'll still come back every once in a while and visit us on these calls. What tends to happen, our seasoned veterans are too busy out there listing and selling real estate, and they come on a few, 4 or 5 of these calls. So when you get really successful at this, come back, and please, if you could just budget 45 minutes a week, this is a really good exchange of ideas. And I appreciate everybody who showed up, who took the time to participate today. I always like to end these calls by challenging everyone. You took 30 minutes or 45 minutes to be here. Take one thing. I think Justin probably was very inspiring today. If you're one of those people that hadn't picked up the phone, pick up the phone. If you're not making the calls, make the calls. Take one thing you heard today that could benefit you, that inspired you. Go out and put it into practice and come back and share it with the group next week. Thank you so much, guys. We will talk to you same time next week. Make it a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.